Happy Friday, welcome to the Know-It-All. I'm Ashley Jenkins, and if you'll let me, I'm here to stuff your head full of details on everything that happened this week so that you can forget it all again over the weekend. It's been a pretty big week for games. 343 Industries announced Halo's return to PC, but maybe not as triumphant as you'd hope. The multiplayer-only game is called Halo Online and is actually being developed by Saber Interactive, and it's only for Russia. Russia. It'll be free to play and supported by microtransactions that let you buy weapon and armor customizations instead of grinding to unlock them, and after a brief glance at their trailer, the disparity between the paid and earned currency is pretty severe. We could be looking at kind of a pay-to-win scenario. Well, we're not really looking at anything since we don't get the game, but you know what I mean. The game is built on a modified Halo 3 engine and will include viable stuff from all across the franchise, and it launches as a beta this spring. GTA 5 also having some problems. The latest patch has apparently downgraded the graphics a bit for current-gen consoles, taking some of the fancier effects away for a lot of folks. May not be noticeable, but if you're one of the people who bought the last-gen version, then shelled out again to buy the current-gen version, it's probably because you want those damn graphics. Don't worry, PC folks. Your turn is coming. So that's the bad news. The good news is it's not permanent and also apparently not even intentional. Rockstar says they're aware of the issue and they're looking into it. We kind of think they probably switched some things off during troubleshooting or something and then just, forgot to turn them back on again. It happens. Battlefield Hardline has also got a few issues, and this one does affect the PC folks. Only the PC folks, actually, because it involves hardware-based DRM. A hardware benchmarking site called Guru 3D was using the game to test a bunch of different video cards, and the game decided to lock them out because the game had been accessed by too many different hardware configurations. Temporarily, but still. Honestly, not an issue that directly affects most of us unless you regularly use 8 different gaming PCs on a daily basis, but it's the principle of the thing, right? Sort of. Actually, it is in Origin's user agreement, and it's been used in the past, not as a DRM measure, but as an anti-cheating measure, because a hardware ban is a lot more difficult to work around than an account ban. A lot easier to make a new account and keep on with your misguided ways than it is to build a whole new computer to do it. So, annoying for that guy? Yes. Is the internet furious? Of course. Is it really a huge deal? Probably not. There was also a huge Twitch security breach, and YouTube declared war on Twitch over live streaming, and there was some Oculus stuff, but you know what? I'm going to save that for tech. For a full hour of video game talk, join us on The Patch. This week, we think Kojima is camping with Putin or something, and that's really why he's missing. I did something really inadvisable with my 3DS. Not that way, and we debate on how much insight we really have into whether Master Chief is a hero or a traitor. Plus, our game club this week was for Valiant Hearts, the World War I puzzle game from Ubisoft, with the trailer that made me cry. I might be a sap, but seriously, in the trailer, the dog is curling up on a grave? How can you do that? Or if you want to get into esports this week, there was a big StarCraft Twitch scandal and the Capcom Pro Tour kicked off. So, now let's get into movies and TV really quick because you guys, Super Troopers 2 is coming! Earlier this week, the guys from Broken Lizard kicked off an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign to get the movie made, and it fully funded $2 million in just over 24 hours. The group has been trying to get the movie made for years, and the studio has agreed to distribute the film, but only with the caveat that they find another way to fund it. So they've turned to all of us since we're constantly calling shenanigans on things and calling things snozberries and playing the cat game. You know the one I mean. It's a great movie for all of that. Good to know we've got a sequel coming. We don't even mind handing over the Indiegogo funding belt to them because they're cool guys. More good movie news for gamers too, because you know Ready Player One, that book that if you haven't read it, someone has absolutely told you that you should because video game references. Well, the movie adaptation has just signed Steven Spielberg to direct, so that's getting that much closer to getting made. There are still a few things up in the air, like getting the proper permissions for all of those references, but hey, Warner Brothers is on it, and they had pretty good success with the Lego movie, so things are looking rosy. Less so in TV a little bit. You know how we've all been speculating that Game of Thrones, the TV show, is catching up to Game of Thrones, the series, and yes, I know it's called A Song of Ice and Fire, but that's just such a pain to say. Anyway, it's catching up, and since George R.R. Martin is taking his sweet time writing the last 2 books, show's not gonna wait around. They know the end, and they're going for it. Showrunner David Benioff has now confirmed that the TV show will begin to spoil content for the future books once they get to that point. So, all those smug pricks like me who've been just so happy to tell you all about what's coming up, turnabout's fair play, I guess. Okay, now, time for tech. First off, earlier this week, there was a huge Twitch security breach. If you have an account there, pause this, go change your password, then come back and find out how bad it was, because it was pretty bad. The hackers obtained access to usernames, passwords, email addresses, IP addresses, credit card information, names, phone numbers, addresses. They probably know everything about every pet you've ever had and your mother's maiden name. So, Twitch expired passwords and stream keys, and they've disconnected all accounts from YouTube. What a nightmare again to set up all that stuff again. And maybe this is just good timing, lucky, whatever, but a new report says YouTube is declaring war on Twitch for live stream dominance. YouTube already does live streaming, actually. A lot of you guys probably already know that since you're a Rooster Teeth fan, and we've done a lot of live streams with them before, but not a lot of people watch it outside of you guys. So, according to a leak from inside the company, they've hired a team of 50 engineers to build a streaming platform capable of going toe-to-toe with Twitch in that space. It's gonna be tough. I mean, Twitch has become something of a juggernaut, to say the least. But it'll be interesting to see what YouTube builds. Twitch has channel subscriptions, turbo mode, exclusivity agreements for most of the major gaming events. YouTube has one of the biggest install bases in the world, a lot of money to burn, and an infrastructure that, let's face it, laughs at Twitch's removal of permanent broadcasts. Either way, we win, we'll get a better streaming service out of it. Finally, will we be seeing Oculus this year? Maybe, possibly. Facebook's CTO Mike Schrepfer demoed a VR in a presentation this week and hinted that hardware shipped by Oculus this year would be able to do all the stuff in that demo. Sort of. Then he backtracked, if you couldn't call it that, saying, and I'm going to quote this because these specific words are so specific. Quote, did not announce anything regarding shipping, just said PC hardware available this year can create these experiences. That's like the least denial ever. I don't get, maybe he's just trying not to jump the gun on an official announcement? Maybe? Okay guys, that's the big news for the week. We'll be back next week with another roundup, but if you don't want to wait, you can always find us over on The Know. Go have a great weekend, play the cat lady, and then join us for Game Club on that next week.